right, hello everybody. Welcome to Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's closet. My idea is to just start at the beginning, go to the end. Since we're still waiting for the latest, this year's release of the latest unsealed documents, I figured why not start with the ones that were already released the day before he died. So let me get some stuff out of the way with that being said. Just a little bit about where I'm coming from, what my thoughts and feelings and things are. I'm nobody, I've worked in law firms for years. I am not a lawyer. I work also in theater for decades upon decades, most of my adult life and some child life. I was in theater. So I have a lot of experience on both ends in theater as an actor and also mostly as a stage manager because that's how I got paid. Lighting designer, stage manager, I was never equity. I didn't want to be union. I thought it would hinder me more than help me in many ways. So I never joined a union, but I still was able to make, decent money. It was never my main source of income. I mean, I'm still doing it, obviously, with COVID. That's pretty much on hold. But, so there's that. So I have a lot of experience with lawyers, and I don't know, I'm not bragging or anything, but just to give you an idea of who I am, because you have no idea who I am. I'm SDS Alice, SD Scrammy, and Nunya 33366, wait, what is it? 33369999? Is that what it is? I think that's right. Nunya on Twitter. Those two are the only accounts that I have. I don't want to put my face. I don't want to put my name. If anybody finds out, it's fine. I'm just not going to put it out there. You're looking out the window of my bedroom. That's my sage plant growing out of a dead aloe vera plant. This we're looking out onto, I'm giving you, figure out where I live now, but whatever. You're looking out onto, I don't know how well it's coming through, but you're looking out onto Fort Tryon Park, which was a Revolutionary War fort. Fort Tryon Park is the most amazing park in all of New York City. I love where I live, and I will never live anywhere else. I've lived in New York City since 1993. I was here for 9/11 before, I was here during, I was here after. I can talk about that some other time. I do believe it was a quote-unquote inside job. I believe the quote-unquote official story is just that, a story. And as George Carlin said about the American dream, you have to be asleep to believe it. Well, you gotta be asleep to believe the official story of 9/11, but that's a whole other thing. Now we're talking about Epstein. And this is all, see, they're all connected, right? So this is the monster. If any of you, hopefully people watch this, you follow me on Twitter, you've seen maybe, perhaps, I don't know what your experience of me is on Twitter, or how much you see of my stuff, but one of my go-to hashtags is, and I'm very new to Twitter, really. My Scrammy account, has been there since, 2012, but I wasn't active at all on it until the impeachment, and I went to Twitter because it seemed to be more immediate. So I'm a newbie, and I don't really, I haven't figured out, some for lack of desire, to be honest. I just speak my mind and my truth, and that's, I picked up some followers, which is pretty amazing. But there it is. So, what was I saying? I hope this is recording. Um, what was I saying? So I lived in New York, right? So I was here for 9/11. Oh, right, yes, the monster. Okay, so the hashtag is hashtag slay the monster, and I think always put it with power of the people, not power to the people. We have it. We have it. And this monster has been choking the life out of life for millennia. I really do believe. And I call it the monster because I find that's the easiest way for me to be able to wrap my head around it. And I call it an it because I believe Bernard, I forget his full name, but the Dutch banker, I believe him 100%. I'm a pretty good judge of character in my life, which is why I don't have a lot of friends, to be honest with you, because I don't suffer fools and I see through people's bullshit and I want none of it. So, you know, my friends are few and far between, but they're very special, and I would lay my life down for them. So there's that. So the monster. So it's all connected, right? It's all fucking connected. JFK, Epstein, and everything that goes along with Epstein, Robert Maxwell, Roy Cohn, J. Edgar Hoover, the shit that this started that Whitney Webb wrote so brilliantly about, which really like fully solidified the monster in my mind after reading her series. And to be honest, I didn't even read all of it. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I read, I think, 2 of them, and I think there were 3 altogether. But it was almost like I couldn't take any more in. You know, I felt like, okay, I know enough now, and in conjunction with everything else, I read decades ago now. I think it was maybe 2007. I read it. Maybe 6. So not decades, almost. A book called Family of Secrets by Russ Baker, and it's all about the Bush family. And holy fucking shit, that book totally opened my eyes. I really hope this is recording. It just made it like totally clear. And then with the Epstein thing, like I remember hearing about him. You know, I'm of an age where I would remember the 80s, and definitely the 90s. Moved to New York in 1993 out of college. So if you want to do the math, go for it. So I'm of an age. I totally remember the Clinton impeachment. It was fucking bullshit. It was utter bullshit. And I just tweeted recently, I think the worst thing to come out of it, well, there's a lot of things, but one of the worst things was an entire generation and beyond growing up believing and feeling that oral sex is not sex. What the fuck? And I saw it happening, and I remember thinking that exact thought when it was happening. And, you know, I mean, like, all this shit that's happening with Trump, I fucking saw it happening. You know, I'm not, look, I just pay attention. You know, I have Columbo for a reason as my whatever avatar on Twitter for SD Scrammy, SDS Alice. You know, I'm pretty observant, and so anyway, so it's all the fucking monster, people. It's all the monster, and the only way that we're gonna slay the monster is to join together. And, you know, I have a lot of followers who are anti-maskers and pro-Trump together. I have a lot who are just pro-Trump, and they've all followed me because of Epstein. So Epstein, that's why this story is so important to get to the meat of it. That's why this is so important, because it's the one thing that joins us all. God, I hope this is recording. It's the one thing that joins us all. So, you know, if we can all set aside our differences that have been manufactured for fucking millennia, I'm all for cultures. I'm a second generation American. My mother is first generation on both sides, mother and father. My father is, they're both born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And I was born in California, in Silicon Valley, before it was really known as Silicon Valley. My dad is fucking genius. He didn't go to college. He doesn't have a college degree, but he has skills. And so when my parents got married, they moved to California, and to Santa Clara Valley. Palo Alto, I think, is where they landed first. I was born at Stanford University Hospital. So they lived there first, and they went there because of the booming, and my dad's an engineer, basically, and it's kind of hard to define what he is, but so that's why they made a beeline. They drove across the country. That was their honeymoon, and there were some other family things, but they insist that it was almost all because of, and I believe them. Anyway, this is way too much of TMI. So anyway, I was born in California. They were born and raised of immigrants, legal immigrants who served in the wars, Jewish, both sides. As I said, I'm quote unquote purebred Jew. I loathe all religions, as I have on my Nunya page. I think that's part of the monster. It's all just designed to divide us. It's all designed to divide humans and divide and conquer. And that's what they're doing. It's happening in the UK. It's happening here in the US. It's happening everywhere. It's been happening places around the world. We have been doing it. The US has been doing it. There's another book I read years ago now, and then the follow-up called Confessions of an Economic Hitman by his name is escaping me now, but anyway, it's called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. And all this shit it's all the fucking monster. It's just all the fucking monster. It's all the monster. Okay. So, we have this new document dump coming. Let me just say one thing about COVID, just to give you an idea where I stand with that. Again, the monster, and the thing that's so nefarious about COVID is, I do believe there is a real virus out there that is novel, and they don't know what to do with it, and it's contagious. It's like fucking herpes. It seems like it's herpes. I don't know what percentage of the population has herpes, but a whole hell of a lot of them do, and they live happy, normal lives, and they never even see a whit of a symptom. It's just a virus. It's an amazing, viruses are fucking amazing. Viruses, Jesus, if we could harness the power of a virus, holy shit. But anyway, so COVID, right? Now, I have no fucking clue. I honestly, I don't know. I lean towards it was engineered and deliberately released by the monster to do exactly what it's doing, to create utter chaos, on top of the psychological shit of everybody wearing a fucking mask. It's just insanity. But these people are dying, and and then even that, it's like, the problem is we can't trust, right? Who the fuck are we going to trust? Who are we going to trust? Fauci does have a sketchy past with AIDS and HIV. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, of course he does. Oh, all right, let me focus here. Okay, take a breath. So what I'm going to do here is read from page 1 of the unsealed documents. Here, I'll read this. So page 1 of, I don't even know how many pages it is. I have an alarm set. I'm probably going to do this maybe 45 minutes or so. See, hopefully I have memory on the... This is all new for me, so if I even get this, it'll be a miracle. But if I don't, it'll be a good. It'll make me feel good. So here we go. Page 1. Title: Topper. United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. At a stated term of the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, held at the Thurgood Marshall United States Courthouse, 40 Foley Square, in the city of New York, on the 9th day of August, 2019. Epstein was dead August 10th. Oh, let me say this about him. Okay, here's my theory on Epstein. A, he's absolutely dead. Now, I recently saw that autopsy photo of his neck with the red marks that look very, very much like it would be made from the power cord of his CPAP machine that he had. I mean, look, that fucking prison cell photograph, what the fuck is all the orange? It's like they dumped the laundry in that cell. Can somebody explain that to me on Twitter or in the comments? I don't know. Again, I hope this is recording. But, you know, but the fact of the matter is, I do believe he's dead. He was not worth the trouble that it would take to keep him alive. His usefulness had run its course. He knew it. He knew it, just like Robert Maxwell knew it. Although I think he definitely was murdered. I don't think he would have committed suicide. But Epstein, so here's my theory of Epstein's suicide that I do believe was a suicide. And he paid, I don't know if anybody's followed the money, but people should follow the money. Those fucking guards, the sleepy grooms, you know, Macbeth is my favorite play, Shakespeare, anything. I have a fantasy one day idea that I've had for years in my head to actually manifest. That's a whole other thing. So, but Macbeth is all fucking over this. It's all over Trump. It's all over the monster. It's just Jesus fuck. Anyway, so, you know, the sleepy grooms, the sleepy guards who were asleep, the cameras that didn't work, all this shit, you know, it very easily could have been Epstein himself paying people off to make that shit happen. I mean, they very easily could have hacked into the camera system. I don't know, but I imagine that wouldn't be that hard to do with people with the know-how to do that. So, I think he pulled the greatest troll of all time by killing himself before either A, they wanted him to, B, they were going to do, the monster was going to do, it was going to do. Really, those are the only two options, really, right? It's either A, he was assassin, and like the whole like Clinton body count, Trump body count thing, that's just distraction, people. That's just fucking distraction. It's the fucking monster. And so Q, all that shit, it's 4chan, 8chan, all that fucking shit is just nothing but distraction, nothing but obfuscation. Just total and utter sowing utter confusion and chaos. There's kernels of truth in it, and that's how they continue to get away with it. But it's all fucking bullshit, and it's all manufactured. It's shit out by the monster. So, God, what was I saying? Q. He killed himself, right? Okay, so it was the biggest troll of all time. You know, he was. Geez, I'd love to find out about his childhood. I can only assume he was molested. He had to have been. Or he was just a natural. I wish somebody had scanned his fucking brain. They should have saved his brain. Oh man, I wonder if they saved. Now it has to be active. I don't know what they can tell once the lights are out. Maybe there's structural stuff they can see. Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, that's a fantasy. But but the fact of the matter is, he was an extreme malignant narcissist. He was definitely a sociopath. He was a hebephile. He was an everything. He was just a fucking monster of a human being. And Robert Maxwell was the exact same, but worse. He was even more sadistic. I don't know if anybody's seen, it had shockingly small number of views, this video. Ellen Berry is her name. Berry like the fruit. Berry. Ellen. No, not Ellen. She called me, oh shit. Fuck. Eileen? No. Shit, there was something Ghislaine called her. Eleanor. And Ghislaine would call her Eleanor, because Eleanor is Eleanor, and Ghislaine would call her Eleanor. Eleanor Berry is her name, and she was Robert Maxwell's submissive for, 20 years. Very close with him. And she knew Ghislaine as a child. I think she first met her when she was 8 or 9. Ghislaine is number 9. I have a whole thing about number 9. The number 9 line on the Upper East Side. If you guys are interested, I'll talk about that. But there's, I think, number 9, the Beatles, number 9, I think it's about that. Ghislaine was number 9. She was the youngest. She was born on Christmas Day. She was like a miracle child. I don't think they expected her. She was obviously the favorite. And so Eleanor talks, there was a video that I think has since become private. I haven't checked lately. Unfortunately, it's called The Whipping of Ghislaine. And it's about Eleanor's first encounter with Ghislaine. And at the time, I think she was only Robert's like secretary or something. But she just was in love with him. She was, she had issues of her own, which she talks about in these other videos, and she liked to be dominated. And Maxwell was a sadist. Robert Maxwell was an absolute sadist. He was even worse than Epstein. And so Eleanor Berry tells the story. It's like so fucking unbelievable. It's just so, and the views were like 5,000. It was like, seriously, it was insane. And that was like the greatest views. And there's all these videos about Robert Maxwell, and Ghislaine shows up in a lot of them. In one of them, she's talking about the last time she saw Robert, shortly before his death. And they were like in the front garden, of his mansion, whatever, and of his blood money mansion. And, he worked for the monster too. He was a monster of the monster, and he passed it on to Ghislaine. And so, Eleanor says that she had the feeling that Robert knew that he was never going to see her again. And she, I think, was there to kind of like break up with him or something. I don't remember, but there was a sense with both of them that this was the last time they were going to see each other. And so Robert, I think, said to her, ask me anything, basically. And she asked him, Ghislaine works for you, doesn't she? And he says, yes. Now, she didn't mean, works at the media company. That's not what she meant. That is not what she meant. She meant with the monster. He passed it all down to her. So this was shortly before he died, so I don't know how old she would have been at this point. 30-something, maybe? I don't remember what the year is of his death. But, so there it is, right? Okay, so back to little 8-year-old, let's call her 9 just because. Back to little 9-year-old Ghislaine. And Eleanor Berry's first encounter with little 9-year-old Ghislaine. Very precocious, very, very intelligent child. Incredibly. She was kind of, in a way, the only child because she was so much younger than the rest of her siblings. And probably ostracized maybe a little bit because she was so clearly the favorite of the father. I don't know. I'm just totally guessing right now. This is all my opinion. I have no proof of anything. Nobody can sue me. But that's just my opinion based on everything I know of her to date. If I were her attorney, my defense would absolutely be, and I don't think she would ever allow it, her ego would never allow it, but my defense of her would be, look, this woman has been traumatized and grew up, and I would say the same for Ivanka and the Trump kids. And maybe even Donald Trump himself. I mean, not really, because here's the problem. This is why I could never be a defense attorney, because at a certain point, you're a grown-ass adult, able to make your own choices and decisions, and you can choose to be a monster, a human monster, or you can choose not to be. I just heard recently somebody, I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody very smart, and, shit, I just lost it. Right. I think it was Mary Trump. She said, and I've had this thought for fucking decades. I love Mary Trump. She's just brilliant. Thank God for Mary Trump 2020. She said, millions of children, let's just be honest. I mean, especially if we're talking over the course of generations, millions upon millions, if we're talking generations, of children have grown up with horrific abuse. Horrific. Way, way beyond what Trump endured. His abuse was mostly emotional, which in and of itself is damaging, as we see, as illustrated by our current president of the United States. But at a certain point you become an adult and you are able to see your actions and you continue. You recognize or you don't. And some could argue that Trump actually maybe doesn't even literally have the ability because he's literally a sociopath, maybe even a psychopath. I don't know. I think he's a nurture and not nature, but he might. Fred, Mary's father, he was the black sheep of the family in the sense that he was the only one who had light in his soul. And they killed him for it. I mean, they just snuffed him out. He was the black sheep of the family. There were 4 other siblings who, I don't know if they're all psychopaths, but they certainly look out for number 1 because they were raised to. So, but they are adults and they make their own choices when they grow up to the point where they're able to recognize what they're doing is either right or wrong. So anyway, so back to 9-year-old Ghislaine and Eleanor Barry's first encounter with her. So they're at the house, and I think they're outside, and little precocious Ghislaine is, striking up conversation with Eleanor. And I think, no, this was their first meeting. But Eleanor had already been working for Robert, but I think he'd never met Ghislaine before. So Ghislaine's talking to her, and then she just kind of, if I remember correctly, out of the blue, this is all from memory, and I watched this video probably like 2 months ago now, and all the shit that's been going on, but I think I have a pretty good memory of it. So, but don't quote me. So little 9-year-old Ghislaine is talking to Eleanor, and if my memory serves of what Eleanor says, kind of out of nowhere, Ghislaine says something to the effect of, I wonder what, or I remember she says, I'm gonna get a whipping, or I'm gonna get a thrashing, I think she said, later, from Daddy. And so Eleanor, in her telling she's reading from her book, actually, I gotta get that fucking book. That's right, I forgot, it's a book. I forgot what it's called, but her name is Eleanor Barry. Now, I subsequently read stuff where she was like, Robert would never do this, Robert would never do that. I was like, what the fuck is this? So I think that's why I stopped kind of digging into her. But if you guys, her name is Eleanor Barry, ELEANOR BERRY. Anyway, but I believe her. I do believe her. So Ghislaine says, I'm going to get a thrashing tonight, later from Daddy. I think she even says Daddy. And so Eleanor is thinking in her mind at the time when she's telling us now, she's reading from her book, she's like, I wish, I'm jealous, she was jealous because she wanted to get whipped by Robert. So she's like, Eleanor says to Ghislaine and tries not to react really in any way, like just kind of neutrally. She says, oh, what, why? And I don't remember what it was for. It was something for nothing major at all. And I don't know if it was something that Eleanor said in her reading of it or my interpretation of what I was hearing, but it sounded almost like Elaine was reaching out for help or manipulating, but as you will soon see, there was reality to her story that she showed to Eleanor. So I don't think it was manipulating. I think Elaine was crying out for somebody to see what was happening to her as a child. The hands of her father. She was 9, and it probably started when she was 5, 6. Who the fuck knows? Maybe even younger. God, it's just so much. I haven't even gotten to the document yet. Jesus fuck. God, I hope this is recording. All right, you know what? I'm gonna finish the story and I'm gonna stop it because I don't want to continue if this is like not even getting recorded. Okay, so where was I? I'm gonna get a whipping. I'm gonna get a thrashing. I think that was the word. And she had, that accent. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I can't help but feel utter compassion and pain for that child. It's just, I can't. It's just really, that's what makes this whole thing so fucking difficult and torturous. And I can't even imagine what Maria and all of the survivors, especially Maria though, she's in a special place. God, I love her so much. I constantly send her love. Oh God. White blood cells. So a little 9-year-old girl getting a thrashing by her father, reaching out, crying out for help. Unfortunately, she was crying out for help to a woman who was jealous of the beating, so would not, in that moment, be able to recognize beyond her own selfish feelings. Birds of a feather flock together. 20 years she was with Robert Maxwell. So little Eleanor Barry is certainly she's certainly no angel herself. But again, like I said, I do believe this story. Okay, so I'm going to get a thrashing later. Why? I don't remember what she says. This is me saying that. And then Ghislaine continues to explain that her father has her choose which instrument of thrashing he will use on her at that particular session. 9 years old, and the way Eleanor Barry conveys it and her memory of the conversation, her memory seems really fucking good. Really good. She sounds old when she's reading this. I don't even know if she's still alive anymore. I think she is. She was younger, obviously, than Maxwell, probably by 20 years. So Ghislaine says this. She says that her father has her choose Oh God, it's really, oh my God, it's really a lot, and I'm not doing this to garner sympathy for the adult Ghislaine in any way, shape, or form. Please do not misunderstand me when I say she is a monster of the monster, just like her father was, and as Robert Maxwell himself answered to a woman that he wouldn't lie to, especially in that moment when she asked him if Ghislaine worked for him, and they both knew exactly what that meant. Working for the monster. I don't know what word they use for it, but that's my word. Working for the monster. You know, Maxwell was a fucking mercenary. I don't even think he worked for the monster. I think he just worked for himself, and it just worked out for the monster. Kind of like Trump. You know, Trump is just a useful idiot. He is just perfect man for the job at the perfect time, as far as the monster is concerned. You know, Maxwell, he was senior father. Pa Maxwell was just a monster beyond the pale. Beyond the fucking pale. And I haven't even read a lot. I haven't read any of the books about him. You know, I've just read a lot of, listened to a lot of really good people, podcasts, read a lot of articles. You know, I feel like I know the truth of him. And, you know, so, little 9-year-old Ghislaine. I'm getting thrashing. Daddy has me choose which tool. That's my cat, Cece Fox. Say hi to the people. He has me choose. He has me choose which instrument of torture to use on me. She says to Eleanor, "Can you help me pick one?" I never... Which one? And she leads her into the room where they're all laid out. And like, it's like a secret, not secret, but it would have been secret to Eleanor. They go inside the house into a room that I'm sure Robert did not want people to see. And all this shit's laid out. Multiple different instruments of sadistic, of torture. Cat o' nine tails, kind of, and then above and beyond even that. And Ghislaine asks Eleanor, which one would you pick? And Eleanor, in her selfish thinking, and she admits, and to her credit, the adult, older Eleanor, the one who's reading her own book, posting it on YouTube and now private. This video, other videos are still public, I think, but the whipping of Ghislaine has become private. I posted it, I tweeted it on Twitter. I mean, the link is there, but it's private. So, shit, what was I saying? I don't need this. I'm not gonna read this now. Oh, Ghislaine. Fuck. It's just too much, just all too much. Alright, let me finish. I gotta finish the story so I can stop this. Okay, so, which one would you choose? She asks Eleanor. And Eleanor, in her selfish thinking, thinks about what would please her the most. So she's not seeing it. She's just not seeing it. And she recognized that. The older adult, I think she was 20, early 20s, Eleanor Barry at this point. She was young. One thing I want to interject. One thing, it's not a belief, it's a fact. It's a scientific fact. You know, the human brain isn't fully cooked until it's about 26 years along. So, you know, I kind of joke when I say I think the age of consent should be raised to 26, but obviously that's not the case. But I think it should at least be 18, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the age of consent should be 18. I don't think it should be younger than 18. I think there should be leeway for special circumstances for certain people if they pass certain whatever. But that's a whole other thing. But you know, the whole Dershowitz thing. Oh, I didn't even get to Dershowitz yet. I got to start a whole new one for Dershowitz. He gets a video all on his own. All right, back to Ghislaine. Okay, so I mean that's basically it, to be honest, actually. So Ghislaine asks the adult Eleanor, who she's never met before, but probably had seen around. She probably wasn't a stranger to her, but they'd never interacted. And asks Eleanor, not knowing that Eleanor herself is a masochist, which one would you choose? And my memory, I don't remember anything verbatim, but the feeling, I remember the idea in my head that was formed from listening to this was that Ghislaine, like I said, was crying out for help. I don't think it was a manipulation at all. I think it was absolute and total truth, which is evidenced by the adult Ghislaine Maxwell today. She's really a meat puppet. She's a meat puppet for the monster. Trump is a meat puppet for the monster. Fucking Putin is a meat puppet for the monster, for fuck's sake. They're all fucking meat puppets for the monster. We are definitely meat puppets for the monster. We're fodder. I don't know what the fuck we are, but we're certainly low man on the totem pole. That's for damn sure. So yeah, there you go. So that's Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't doubt one word in any of these depositions that I'm going to read. So my idea here, I'm going to make a new video. This is the introduction to Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's closet. I'm going to put them together. Single closet that they shared in the master bedroom, bathroom, the sex closet. I'm guessing is probably what we're talking about here. In the bathroom. Quick and easy cleanup, right? Quick and easy cleanup. All there, self-contained in the bathroom. So, Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's closet. Episode 1, this has been. And I hope this worked. And oh, by the way, we've been listening to Beethoven. I found this amazing YouTube. Beethoven 1 through 9. Number 9. I didn't even look for that. I looked for Beethoven. I wanted something that was going to be long. I was actually had the idea that would be an awesome thing to just have all the symphonies on one thing, and there it was. Fucking love the internet. All right. You know what? Here, I'm going to keep this going for a little bit longer for you guys until the end of this movement. Bye for now. Thank you for listening and watching. I don't know, maybe I got something good in the sky. I don't know. I don't know if you can see the flag. If you can, I don't know if, oh, it might be blocked. Flying blind right now, folks, so hopefully it's a decent view. There's a flag I look out on, this American flag that has actually been at half staff for the better part of this year, to be perfectly honest, and it only just in the last couple of weeks I noticed it was back at full staff. Anyway, so thank you for your time, and if you want more, I'll make more, but I'm definitely going to be reading these documents for my own just to do it. Thank you for your time. Enjoy Beethoven, I don't know what number. Probably still in the first symphony. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, we're still on number 1. Oh wait, no we're not. I'm sorry. We are at 3. Oh, fuck me. Not literally. This is Symphony number 3, folks. God, I really hope this worked. I really hope this worked. Symphony number 3. Third movement. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's the third movement. Oh my god! Yeah. All right. Funny. You think you're funny? You are. You are quite clever. You are. We are in Eroica. We are in Symphony number 3, aka Eroica. I've never quite known how to pronounce that. That's how I pronounce it. In movement number 3 of Symphony number 3. Symphony number 3. Oh wait, you know what? Oh no, we're not. We're about to hit number 3. So there we go. I'm gonna just let this go for a while. Enjoy. This is movement number 2 of Beethoven's Third. Next coming up on next coming up in Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's closet. Beethoven's third movement. Enjoy. All right, that was the end of Beethoven's Third. That four movements. Oh, so this is it's Dresden. It's a Dresden orchestra, apparently. I'll try to say it. Maybe I can link it. I don't know. I think I can. I'm totally new to this whole YouTube thing, so I think if I can link it, I'll link it. I think I should be able to link it. Staatskapelle Dresden. Staatskapelle Dresden. Herbert Blumstedt, I assume, is the conductor. Oh God. Okay, so I'm gonna do this all day. If this works, I'm gonna stop this now and see if it worked. And if it does, I'm gonna post it as is, no editing, no nothing, and no if. I'm gonna follow up and say a couple more things about Dershowitz. Some other things, or something I just thought about. I gotta take a break now. But and I'll start reading the. What's today? Is today Thursday? No. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Okay. So yeah, I'll start reading. What was unsealed on August 9th of 2019, and get as far as I can, and maybe tomorrow we'll have the new ones, the fresh documents, and I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna read them for myself. I would be more than happy if it becomes a service to people, so they don't have to read it, so they can listen. I think I have a decent voice. Hopefully you find me pleasant to listen to. I haven't read anything for you yet, but anyway, so I'm going to stop this because I got to make sure it worked. So thank you for coming. And once again, this is Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's closet, reading unsealed documents, tip to tail, with some other extras thrown in here and there. Pepper. I'm a big fan of pepper. There'll be a lot of pepper. A lot of pepper. A lot of salt, too. There'll be a lot of salt and pepper in this. The staples. If you have salt and pepper, you're good. Anyway, see you guys later. Or, whatever.